So welcome, dear viewers. Once again, it's Friday and it's 5. And today we have actually episode 5 of our World Cup show in Added Time FC. And today we'll be doing the Group C with Argentina, Mexico, Poland, and Saudi Arabia. Before I go straight into the show, I just wonder, with the comments, I was very impressed. I mean, and also it feels very good, like at 4:30 because our show starts at 5, and we have people at Vashish Basdevi give a comment from 4:30, and really he and the 3S class. Anytime they meet me, they always really enthusiastic, asking about the show. Today I was on the bench outside one of the classes, and the boys keep asking, sir, how the YouTube channel going,
Oh,
When is the next
nice.
show we're seeing here? So it really, it really feels good. It's really motivating to get the support of so many subscribers and so many students, and of course, people all over the world. So without any delay, I know this, I know Vashish, we put in our next comment. Thanks, Vashish. Make sure to subscribe. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
some support there.
that. So thanks, Vashish. And well, we go straight into the program because I know this group is really much anticipated. I have very probably today is the 10th of June, and we have probably the most famous number 10 in the world right now in this group. So I know he attracts a lot of attention. And actually, we have today one of our presenters just arrived. One of our presenters who will be moderating the show. So I would like to pass the ball to Mr. Rampol, and he will be running the show today. And oh well, hello Anish. I know Anish always supports. So good evening. Happy to see you on time and ready to view the show. So thanks very much, Anish. And I'll go pass the ball straight to Mr. Rampol, and over to you, sir. And welcome to the show.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for tuning in this afternoon again. I hope everyone can hear me properly. So I believe this afternoon we'll be previewing the group with Argentina, Mexico, Portugal, and Saudi Arabia.
Oh, Poland.
Poland, sorry, yes,
Yeah.
not Portugal. Why I thinking it's Portugal?
Yeah.
We would not mind
So
if it's Portugal, do it. We would not mind. Anyhow,
Yeah, yeah.
So I think I will start off and think that the favorites here would be Argentina and Mexico. Although we will say Poland have probably the most informed striker from the German league, and Saudi Arabia they shouldn't be discounted at all. So we'll hand it over to Vijay to break down the group. I mean, which team he thinks will definitely get out of here, and which one may be a dark horse in this group.
Right. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Roger. Right. So to echo what was said, Argentina, the seeded team in this group, they're doing very well. They're unbeaten for a few years now. They have Messi. Apart from Messi, they have quite a few other really top-notch players in their squad. They won the Copa America, so Messi got that monkey off his back of not having a major international trophy to his name. He has that now. Di Maria is actually one of my favorite players for the past 10 years or so. Really, really good player. So for me, yes, Argentina would be the overwhelming favorites to top this group. Mexico and Poland would be, I guess you could say, battling for the second spot. I would give the edge to Mexico. Again, they have a very strong... We saw what Real Madrid is to the Champions League, right? Tradition does matter. Mexico has a strong tradition of qualifying out of their group. If you go back to 1994, right? I started following the World Cup in 1990. Mexico was not present in that one because they were banned from qualifying, right? But from 94 straight up until the last one, 2018, they have always qualified out of their group, no matter who the other teams were. They were always one out of the two teams to qualify out of their group, and they always lost in the second round. It's a strange tradition that they have, but they always qualify into the second round where they lose. So I think based on tradition, and I do like this Mexican squad as well, right? They have a really nice forward line, 3 good attacking players that are doing quite well in their respective leagues in Europe. I think that will be enough to power them through. Poland, yes, a good squad as well, but other than Lewandowski, they have 1 or 2 other players. I think Blaszczykowski is still playing for them, but I don't think they have enough quality around the pitch with the 11 players to beat this Mexico team. So I think they will be in third place.
Okay, thank you, Vijay. So Kishore, okay, sorry, you thought you lost it here.
Oh yeah, somebody tried to call. Call me.
Go ahead, continue.
Yeah. Right. So Saudi Arabia is a really unknown quantity. I don't know much about them. I believe they topped their group in Asian qualifying, which, you know, the Asian teams are doing a lot better now than in the past, right? You remember what Japan and South Korea did in 2002 when they had hosted. You just have to look back to 4 years ago where Japan gave Belgium quite a scare, right? They were 2-0 up, I believe, on Belgium at one point in time, and then a little bit of naivety crept in, and they ended up losing out 3-2. I think the winner was off the last kick of the game, and then, well, we all know Belgium played Brazil after, but Japan also recently played Brazil in a friendly and did quite well. So I think the Asian teams are certainly coming up, and to have topped their group, Saudi Arabia has to be a team of some quality, right? But as I said, I don't know enough about them to suggest that they would be fighting for that second spot. So for me, Argentina first, Mexico second. Those would be my 2 in that order.
I would agree with you also. So Kishore, because I'm sure you would agree also about Argentina, but do you think Messi is under more pressure for this World Cup, or you think that the pressure would somehow be shared?
Okay, so now listen. The thing with Messi, the pressure will always be there. When you're comparing Messi to the great man Maradona all the time, and that comparison is there, and Maradona was able to do it for his country and win the World Cup, the pressure is always going to be there for Messi to win this. And I mean, there are different schools of thought concerning the fact that some people say that unless he could actually do this, win this World Cup for his country or his national colors, only then could he be the best of all time, the greatest ever. And others like me think that he doesn't really need the World Cup to do that. But still, the pressure is there all the time. However, and I know what you're alluding to, and maybe it's the fact that I think that this time the team he has around him might be a more balanced team, a team that could help him and with the pressure. Whereas look at the last World Cup, and Argentina they were under some serious pressure to qualify out of that group. And when it came down to that last game, and that a hope for a result, that Croatia, you understand? And Messi, and Messi wasn't scoring. He didn't score a goal yet in the tournament, and there was all this. And then I remember this brilliant goal where Messi just brought down it's Messi. It was just so messy. But at the same time, I think, yes, they should not be under that type of pressure. In this, VJ mentioned a very important thing as well. In the previous World Cups, he had never won anything for his country in national colors. And that there was this added pressure Now the fact that yes, he was able to win the Copa, and then recently I think Raji beat our next team again to win a tournament again,
Yeah,
right?
that's Italy. He
Right, yeah.
they beat Italy. I
Right.
remember. I vaguely remember
Right,
that.
yes. So I think, you know, it should be a little bit easier in terms of pressure wise for him. I think he have more experience now. Reach at a age, you know, he know what it's like to play under a lot of pressure for his team and things like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it would be shared like that. Yeah.
Excellent. So I want to bring up a player that has been on the fringes, but hasn't really made a breakout for the national team, and that's Dybala. I mean, Dybala has been really showing. They always speak about potential, always speak about how good he is, but somehow for the national team, there hasn't been any sort of outstanding performance. You all think that this may change in this World Cup, or we look for the same?
Which one of
PJ?
us? Me? Oh, okay.
Anyone?
Okay, well, yeah, I think Scaloni seems to have his favorites. And I don't know. I find Dybala could have gotten more chances. You know, so yes, he hasn't really produced, but I think he hasn't been given sufficient opportunity. The coach Scaloni has not shown enough confidence in him, because I think he's a player like that. You need to show him some confidence. He needs to feel that love then from the coach to be able to produce. I think like Icardi is another one. I find I don't understand why Icardi can't break into the team at least. Like even for the qualifying, he wasn't even on the bench and he wasn't injured. I don't understand. But in my opinion, I think Scaloni has his players and he knows who he's going to play and rotate off of the bench. I don't think we're going to see much changes between now and November.
So we're not looking forward to Dybala playing with Messi. What do you think, Kishore, that this would be a possibility? Do you think it makes Argentina better, or?
Listen, so my take on Dybala is this, right? The talent is there, and you know there was all this hype about Dybala. And even if you look at Dybala in club football, right? In club football, and did you understand what you're saying at maybe with Scaloni and he wasn't given the chance, and maybe you know he was not favorite of the coach and things like that. But I think Dybala for some games when you see him, I mean he really looks good. You could see there is no doubt about the talent being there. My issue with him, and this is during club football, what I've seen of him, right?
Right.
He has been too inconsistent for me. He has been very inconsistent as a player. You can't have that. And we have seen it with not only him, numerous players in the past. In that the talent is there and they would be so good one day. Like you look at them and they're kind of unstoppable on this day. And then that form is just lost for the next month. And then they would come back in and they would have a very good game again. And
yeah.
I think he was given some chance for this team to play. I mean, there was a lot of hype with him and Messi playing together. And I still think if he could find that form and be consistent, he and Messi, I mean, obviously, surround that talent like that with Messi as well. And you could see some magic. So I would like to see it. However, he just too inconsistent.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I agree with what you say, but I agree that probably, but I really would like to see both of them on the field together. I mean, it would be so.
Every football fan would love to see that pairing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
On form, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And shifting gears now, right? We know Argentina has a very large following. Probably only Brazil may have a larger following, but for the team, we don't know this squad yet. But can you look and think about any one area that should be of concern to Argentina from stopping them from making a deep run in this competition? Because I'm thinking about the defense, and they still have Otamendi, and it's rather an Asian defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that in their goalkeeper, they found a goalkeeper who is coming into his own. But really the defense, because I know there's in the qualifying they used Otamendi, and I'm concerned about for pace, and he'll have the experience, but in the World Cup,
Mm-hmm.
you have to think about how much his body will take in a short space of time in the tournament, and the speed and pace. What do you all think? What you all
I
think
agree.
about anything?
I agree. I would say the defense is the area I am a bit concerned with. I've never really been a huge fan of Otamendi as a defender for Argentina. I think the forward line in midfield is really
Yeah, I think they have all bases covered there. Because I think it's a concern because most as we know Argentina they tend to be very top heavy.
hello.
All
What I
right.
mean top heavy, they are blessed with attacking options,
Yeah.
attacking options, and but where it's concerned is the ability to defend and to keep a structure at the back. And really and truly, to go deep in that tournament, you need a complete team.
Correct.
I mean, as we say, Messi and Di Maria and even Lautaro and them, they need that support in the back, especially when they come against the tougher team.
Yeah,
Deeper in the tournament,
definitely. And Rod, remember we always say this, right? Strikers win matches, defenders win titles. Right?
Yeah, they win tournaments.
Yes, defenders win title. So you need that. And yes, I agree 100 is that the defense has always been kind of an issue with them. Because ever since with Messi, you know, the attacking process always there. Is defense sometimes a little bit shaky. The keeper even sometimes made a few errors. However, yes, I believe Emilio Martinez has made a huge difference. Right? But anyhow, Pundit, I know Pundit here, he's not moderating today, so we can get his take too.
Yes.
This is
I agree.
This is close to his heart. I mean, this is thing. So
I'm gonna ask him. How far? I know he'll say straight to the final and lifting the trophy, but in this team, realistically, how far do you think that they have the potential to go?
Well, that's a very good question, Roger. You know, I mean, well, I guess for me, I always say once you're in the World Cup, you have a ticket to win the lotto. So every team that is in the World Cup has a chance, has the potential to reach the end. Even
Mr.
Qatar.
Raj, again, don't sit on the fence. Give us a prediction.
No,
the finals, the semi-finals, the round of 8, 16.
Oh, wait. No, you can't jump there. You have to give you a little rationale and reason behind your prediction. So I want to give the preface. I know you
All right.
I want to set the scene. So first of all, I feel, and I really honestly feel that because, I mean, look at Italy. I mean, just saying it, not for any special reason.
No.
Nobody expected Italy to win the Euros. I mean,
not make it to the World Cup.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I didn't go there, but that's it. But what I'm just saying, in the tournament, the Italians blossom. They started off like, you know, nobody talking about them, and suddenly they just hit the form at the right time. Everything came together, the team gelled, and all right, a fella hold a man shoot and pull him back. But I mean, it was Italian defending, and they won the tournament. So in the same way, I feel that Argentina has a chance of that. That's why I'm glad you.
So Argentina need to hold somebody's shit, and they would win this tournament.
Well, no. Being there have the potential to blossom, and really and truly they have a goalkeeper. Man, we go. But
Somehow,
yeah, I
Vijay
feel
Kishore,
the
we
keeper.
haven't heard the answer yet.
Watch when the goalkeeper they were playing Croatia in the last World Cup. The goalkeeper passed a ball to Croatia and they score. I mean, they come like you watching it, you play
Yeah,
with
it's
10 men and the
crazy.
goalkeeper on
Yeah.
the side. So they have a goalkeeper, Romero, really good from Spurs. He's hey, let's put Earl saying the same thing. Romero is a top class defender. I see the man do some really good tackling and so on in the English
Yeah.
league in
Yeah.
EPL. And I really feel the Otamendi a little older, but I'm hoping that change. I really feel also that God boy when he if when you look at a football player Messi, you like him on the field and off the field. He has the full ability on the field, and the man even learned to use his right leg. And also off the field, he has a good character. He's a real good role model for all these boys watching and who will be watching the recorded version. And really, I feel that this time could be the story of perseverance. You know, not that just go and win the World Cup or win 4 World Cup, but it showed that he was able to face all the obstacles. And I feel this time they could go all the way and win the World Cup.
All right, so you have it here, folks. Mr. Ryan say that Argentina is going to go all the way. And my heart wants to agree with him, but I think it's a long tournament. It's good, and they have the potential to go all the way. I think they have most of the components. I think once they can get their defense in order, that they should stand a very good chance of making it all the way. So we really looked only at Argentina. Second in the group, is it a shootout between Mexico and Poland, or anybody giving Saudi Arabia a chance? Looks like Kishore has some technical. So, Vijay, Saudi Arabia, I know you start off saying that they are a bit of an unknown, and I have the same thing. I haven't really
Yeah.
followed up the Asian qualifying as much as I should have.
Right. Yeah. Same.
Yeah, I kind of I will be kind of biased with Mexico because not only because they're from CONCACAF, I really admire Mexico from a long time. I like their brand of play, their style, and the fact that they really don't follow a European style of football. That they try to keep their own identity, and they hold their own amongst most of the top nations in the world.
Yeah, they always represent. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So even though I think in the Mexico Argentina game, it would not be as straightforward as people may
as some might think. Yeah, correct.
And I'm hoping that, because as an Argentina fan also, I don't want to put anything out there, but I hope that they meet Mexico not in the first game of the tournament.
Right. Yeah.
I'm hoping that doesn't happen. For both teams' sake, that they able to
get some points,
to be able
first.
to ease themselves into the tournament and get themselves there, because I think both of them can have a deep runner, not only Argentina.
Yeah, correct.
I think Mexico, because really looking at the level of play, there's no really dominant nations anymore, you know. Like people, I consider, like they had the Brazil, the Germany, Holland. I mean, I think more and more the teams are becoming closer and closer in the gaps between them.
Yeah.
With the players played together in Europe and all over, and really it makes a really an interesting tournament. I mean, because there's, as I say, there's no longer the fear, I feel, of coming up against like a Germany or Brazil anymore. So you'll find
Yeah.
teams like Saudi Arabia and Mexico going at Argentina.
Yeah. They have nothing to lose. Nothing to
Mm.
lose. Yeah.
And as
Especially Saudi Arabia.
yeah, and BJ rightfully said, look at Japan. Japan is a great example of what could have been. I mean, I think it's just a little maturity, and they could have eliminated Belgium.
Mm-hmm. It looked like that. At one point in time, the Belgians were panicking after they went 2-0 down, but they were able to put, string together some good plays. And the Japanese, as I said, they were a little bit naive in protecting that 2-0 advantage. But, it's fine. Now football is fine margins that decides games, small decisions that make the difference between winning and losing now. So, it is a much more level playing field than, 20, 30 years ago.
Totally agree. Because I hate to bring it up, because if we could remember the Champions League final, I mean, look, most people will still say Real Madrid stole the final, but they managed to win.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
They still managed to win. So, Kishore, any upsets in this, or we looking at straightforward?
I think honestly, this is one of the most straightforward groups. Even though I agree with you guys, and it's football, and everybody qualified and reached to the World Cup, and when you reach there, anything can happen because that's the beauty of the game, as we always say. And yes, I understand that Saudi Arabia, they qualified and they were unbeaten and they finished first in their group. And yes, it was on top of Japan. And what we have seen of Japan in the last World Cup, and even recently, as Vijay was saying, in the friendly, they look good. So for a team to do that, I think that they have to be a decent team. Another thing I think that we need to mention is the fact that Saudi Arabia very close to Qatar, so they would be familiar with the conditions basically, as
Yes,
opposed to
yes.
a number of other teams, right? And I never, just like most of us here, I never really saw Saudi Arabia play football too much. But the little I've read and I've looked on little videos and hear about them, they seem to have a very strong defense. So they seem to be a very organized team that they're not going to be very easy to break down. And sometimes in a World Cup game and in a group stage and whenever, sometimes an organized team, right, who are familiar with the conditions as well, could frustrate any team, any team. You could frustrate that team and one counter attack and bam, you in the game, right? So yes, we understand that it's football and anything can happen. But guys, having said that, I'm going to kind of echo some of the same in terms of how it's going to finish. I think it's going to be very similar. I think first is going to be Argentina. I think the second place is going to be a little bit closer, but I think but the CONCACAF biasing me, and based on the record that Mexico have had, and they had Mexico. This is not this Mexico team, even though they have a lot of very young players and very good players. I want to look at throughout all the top leagues in the world, Mexico have players. But something about the flair that Roger was mentioning there, something about that, I think it's a little bit lost from this Mexico team. And if you look at the qualifiers even, you were not seeing, Mexico was not dominating.
No.
Mexico didn't finish first. And even though they end up level on, we know Canada, after they qualified, kind of fell away a little bit. But as I said, Poland, we know Lewandowski is there. World class. They have Szczesny, one of the top keepers in the world now as well. But I'm going to say Argentina first, and the fight up is really going to be for second. But again, I'm going with Mexico for second place. Yeah. So that's
Vijay, do you have the same picks? Because I agree with Kishore. I would go with Argentina and Mexico.
Yeah. As I say, I have the same picks in the same order. Argentina first, Mexico second, Poland, and then Saudi Arabia to bring up the rear. I mean, they could embarrass me, but I think that's how it
Yeah.
will be. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Maraj, you agree also with the
Well, yes,
Argentina Mexico pick?
I have to agree with the team here. I think, yeah, without a doubt, Argentina, Mexico is looking like a really an easy group. But I mean, nothing guaranteed.
All right, great. Well, before we want to dive in, so with the latest is that Wales have qualified in the England group. I know we could go back and just touch on it. Does it change the dynamic of that group now that we know that it's Wales that will be joining England, USA, and who's the fourth team? I think Iran.
Iran. Yeah.
Iran.
Yeah.
Iran. Are we going to go with England, Wales?
Yeah, that's what I went with. I said England, and whoever came out of the playoffs with Ukraine, Scotland, and Wales would be the second place team. That's what I said, and I still say that.
Yeah,
You
Vijay
sure?
had said that. I said I knew that Wales was probably the favorite at that point in time to qualify, right? When you're looking at the team, and even though yes, it will be a very very nice match between England and Wales. It will be a very good game. It should be an entertaining game. But again, I go with my CONCACAF. I go in USA second. I go
Wow.
in
So, you're going
CONCACAF.
Okay.
so who are you going?
England,
Wales,
England
USA?
first. Yeah, Wales, US, nah, England, and then I'm going
USA.
US. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Mirage? You put in Wales second?
Wow, I didn't really think much about that group now, but I mean, it's looking like a very tough group now, with Bale and Wales there. England, USA, a very good team with that boy from Chelsea, but and I
Pulisic.
feel
Pulisic.
even it's going to be I feel it's difficult to call. I mean, but looking at it, I would really say looking like England and Wales, where they will have the they will be favored in the group, but I think it's a very open group.
Yeah, I echo the sentiments also, but so everybody is making that game to be Harry Kane versus Gareth Bale, but I think it's more than that. Although both of them I think this would be probably for both of them their final major tournament, if probably the final World Cup. So and they both it'll be like basically a final for both of them, that game. So again, to the panel, I'll just allow you all to wrap up on this week in football.
Yeah, Vijay, you want to wrap up? Just give your closing sentiments to the old.
Okay,
One
sure.
thing, well, Roger, we just lost him. I feel he'll come back in a
Oh,
second or two.
okay.
And we having a special to all the fans of viewing right now. We having a new feature today
Right.
where we'll be giving the opportunity for one of you to come on live on the show. So the person has already contacted me and they're on the way, so they'll be joining soon.
Okay.
Of course, they will get to share their views like all the members of the team we have, as well as ask questions and so on based on what they think about. Well, their question will be more related to the group C, because this is the featured group today. So if you all could wrap up on what Roger said, and so hopefully by then Roger will come back, and then that person I'll bring them in, and we'll do that session. Okay. So whoever wants to go first.
All right, I'll go ahead. So yeah, just to echo again, Argentina first. I am pretty excited to see how far they will go in this tournament. I think it's as good a chance as they would have had in a long time. In 2014, we know they made a good long run to the final. I just think that their forward line back then just wasn't producing enough goals. They were too reliant on Messi. Yeah, Aguero was injured for most of it. Di Maria was injured during the knockout stages. Higuain was just not performing at all. But I think, this team is more well-rounded. Yes, the defense could be a little bit iffy, but I think they can go far. I would like to see what how far they reach, if they could even maybe win it all. Who knows? Mexico as well. I'm looking for them to at least make the second round, and hopefully this time they could make it to at least the quarterfinals. That would be nice. As a fellow CONCACAF nation, I would like to see them progress. Poland, of course, looking for some good performances from Lewandowski. We will see how much support he gets from the rest of the players. And Saudi Arabia, again, as I said, is a unknown quantity, but looking forward to seeing what they could produce.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Vijay. Very well done as always. And Kishore?
Yeah. So I just my closing comments gonna just be surrounded around one thing, and that's just Messi. And the thing is, Messi carried Argentina to a World Cup final, and they played against my team in that final, which is Germany. And I mean, looking at and hearing what our coach Joachim Löw said after the match and stuff, and he told his players that, listen, there will be 11 players at a point in time in the Argentina, and the other 10 will let beat us, but not Lionel Messi, not today, not in this final. So 2 guys won him throughout the match, and that is when he didn't even have the ball, basically. And when he got the ball, they would surround him. He still found a way to find Higuain one-on-one. This is in regulation time, and nobody would forget this.
Yeah.
And I mean, your heart was in your throat at that point in time when they see Higuain and Messi find him, and and he didn't score. But the world and a lot of people do not remember that, because second place in the World Cup is no glory. And so he really needs to win this thing. And I've seen something in this squad. And yeah, they mightn't be the best squad in terms of age. They might have a aging. The defense might be a little bit shaky. Pressure might be there. But what I've seen is an intangible factor. And that intangible factor I would like to call the Messi effect. And I've listened to a couple interviews. One in particular, our former Arsenal goalkeeper, and Emilio, and when he spoke. And they played for Messi. They won for Messi. They were willing, but they would give every drop of blood in their body for Messi. Country Messi first, because they believe, and that belief, that inspiration. Now, a sport that I look at, and just to sway from football for 1 second, is the American football, NFL. And the greatest sportsman in American history right now is a guy by the name of Tom Brady. And what he's able to do. And Messi, I believe, has instilled something, this intangible thing, into this team. And it could work out or it may not. But I believe that this team is willing to play, not just with Messi, but for Messi. And they really want to win this title for him. For themselves, probably second, but for Messi first. For Messi first. And I think that could carry them a long way. That could carry them a long way, especially in a tournament that is designed like a World Cup tournament. So, having said that, I think that Argentina could go all the way in this. And even though they are not my team that I support, and I would support ever since I started watching football, was West Germany, the first World Cup, right? And then now it's Germany. They have always been my team, die-hard German supporter. I am a huge Messi fan. Huge, because once you like football, as I always say, that is something you just wouldn't see in your life again. And I think we're so lucky. Ronaldo is our workhorse. He would train to have that set of talent. But you see, Messi, you're born with that. You're born with that, and you can learn that, right? Yeah, you just cannot learn that this skill level that Messi has. It's, I mean, when you look at Messi highlights for a season, most players would wish that is their highlights for their career, right? Basically, they would wish, and you can't. So yeah, guys, I know I take a little thing, but listen, I am a huge Messi fan, and I think that they can go all the way. Definitely, that intangible factor, that Messi effect, I think is going to be something that no other team in the World Cup is going to have. That, yeah.
Well, we
Hi,
have
good evening, everyone.
our special guest has arrived, so I hand over to Mr. Rampol to introduce him and, on the show.
Well, I think this show is getting more and more, you understand?
Yeah.
Illustrious as it goes, because we have
Just
celebrities in our midst.
Just now,
We have
this could be like a
we
staff
have
meeting.
Mr. Rampasad, and Mr. Rampasad is a very highly artistic and skilled person. So we welcome him to the show. So Mr. Rampasad, you could either join in the conversation or you can pose a question to anyone on the panel. So either one. Our topic today is really previewing the World Cup group with Argentina, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and Poland. And the panel so far has come rather unanimously that they believe that Argentina and Mexico may make it out of this group. So you could weigh in on the conversation or you could pose your questions to the panel.
Well, firstly, let me say good afternoon to everyone, and it's nice being here. Nice to have, nice of you to have me here. Vijay, what's going on, brother? Long time I see you.
Good to see you, man. Real good to see you.
Kishore was saying that he's a diehard Germany fan. I am a diehard Argentina fan.
Nice.
I am one of those fans who have been waiting years and years and years for Argentina to show the greatness of our football. And I think Argentina could go ahead and win the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I disagree with most of you on everybody when you say that Lionel Messi is the key to winning that. I think that if Argentina and the coach leaves Messi home,
they would still win.
And off the players' roster, that Argentina will have a better chance of doing well in this World Cup. Now,
wow, that's a very controversial statement, but I think it has merit. But will you be the coach to bench Messi?
But you have to. Actions say more than words. Lionel Messi.
I'll leave it to either Mr. Marat,
Lionel
VJ,
Messi is one of the greatest players in recent times. I grew up with Maradona, the likes of Maradona and Hullet and so on. And Lionel Messi is a great player. However, Lionel Messi is probably the greatest club player of all times, but not an international player. In all his career and everything that he has achieved, only once, which is just the other day, that he has been involved in getting an international title. He has failed to show at that level of the World Cup, right? In addition,
anybody want to take that? Or anybody want to take that? Or
let him finish. Let him finish. No. Let him finish his point. Yeah.
Right? Now, for me, the problem with Argentina is that Argentina has a lot of fans like myself, and there's great expectations for Argentina. They recently won the Copa Cup, which is for a long time that they haven't won. They were undefeated in their qualifying group. However, they didn't win the group because they weren't winning matches. But still, there's that resurgence of hope in their fans that things are going to happen. This is our World Cup. This is our year. Great expectations to the team, the coach, the players, and Messi. But with great expectations also come great pressure. This World Cup will not be won on the skills of players who play in this World Cup, but it will be played, it will be decided on by the mental discipline of players. Who is able to handle that pressure of the World Cup and the pressure from game to game. I have serious concerns if my team, Argentina, would be able to do that. There's a lot of pressure going on into them. Since '86, we haven't seen a World Cup. We've lost 2 finals. With the Copa Cup now, we're hoping the last days of Messi's, we're still hoping here. Could they handle that pressure? I don't know. Honestly, I think one part of my belief is that they're going to draw that first game with Poland. They're going to go in very tentatively, not too sure the pressure is there. Are we going to play defensive? Are we going to attack? Are we going to play it safe? Are we going to go out there and do it? And I think with that tentativeness and Poland coming out hard against one of the best footballing teams in the world, Poland might very well pull off a draw. And with Argentina having difficulty in scoring and reaching times to win, I think it's a definite possibility. I certainly see Argentina. I see the possibility of Argentina coming out with 3 draws at the end of that round.
3 draws.
3 draws. Poland,
guys,
they're going to be tentative. They're going to be tentative against Poland.
That.
It's going to be a good run against Mexico. And no, against Saudi Arabia is the first game. The first game is Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
they're going to be tentative.
I mean, you have to understand something. When he said 3 draws, he talking about the IC team without Lionel Messi, right? So
no. That is the team with Messi. We can avoid all that if Messi is part of the coaching team. Right. We can avoid that if Messi is part of the coaching team. And if he is as good a player and as a good leader as so many people say he is, he's going to be able to guide that team from the sidelines, become the motivational coach for those guys, and bring in younger players who will push and fight to bring that glory back to Argentina and Argentinian football. Apparently, my lights don't agree with me. Let's see if we can get some
I think it's not only a light,
It's hard for Argentinian fans to see that we have the best player in the world.
Yeah.
It's hard to stomach. It really, really hard to stomach. And I think it's time. Messi has shown that he's a great player, but he is not at the level of winning a World Cup.
Before Kishore and I go, I want to disagree with you saying that he hasn't been successful in the national team. Yes, he lost a number of Copa finals, and yes, he would have lost the World Cup, and it wouldn't be him alone. It would be the entire team. And they lost the World Cup in extra time against Germany. I think that team with Messi, there was the greatest expectation for them to win. I don't see them having the burden of being favorites with this World Cup, as you must have alluded. So I don't see that pressure being on Lionel Messi as Argentina being a favorite for the World Cup as they were when they lost to Germany in that final. I don't know how the others feel about it, but you do bring up some very valid point as a Argentina fan. Yes, but for me, I rather see Messi on the field than on the bench. I don't know about the others. Sure.
What I would say, or Kishore, you could go ahead.
No, go ahead, Vijay. Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead,
what I would say, where I agree with Donat is I don't like the idea that all the plays should be centered around Messi, right? But because if you looked at the games where they rested him in the World Cup, I think that the chemistry of the team was really good. In those last few games where they rested him, they gave other younger players a chance. Well, Lautaro obviously looks like a starter now. Rodrigo de Paul, Di Maria. There was another guy on the left as well whose name escapes me at the moment. But the chemistry.
Gonzalez. Yeah.
Yes. Right. So those guys, Gonzalez. It was a Gonzalez. Yeah.
Yeah, Nicolai Gonzalez. Yeah.
The link-up play was good. They were opening up defenses easily. I think the chemistry looked really, really good. So I would like to see Messi, yes, on the field, but maybe not just, it shouldn't be that every play has to be centered around Messi as the playmaker and doing everything. I think they should just play their football. If it has to go through the right flank, let it go through the right. If it has to go through the left, the middle, whatever. I think, they would be better off that way. But again, to echo what he said, I think if they want to make a run to the final and to win this thing, they need to stop this tactic of everything has to go through Messi. But I wouldn't want him on the sidelines. He needs to be on the field, but just not. He shouldn't be running everything, every play. They could score goals without him touching the ball.
I want to add this to what Vijay is saying. If Messi has more assists than goals after the first round, and it continues, then we will win the World Cup. Right? Because once they push Messi to be the man that puts it in the net,
you're right. Yeah.
Everybody's gonna go with him. Saudi Arabia gonna have 11 or 12 men on that one way or the other, right? On Messi looking for it. But if they look to have Messi lead the play and pass it off to the younger guys, pass it off to the other guys who are fully capable, then you're gonna see goal scoring. Then you're gonna see Argentina. You're gonna see us winning games, and we're gonna be a force to reckon with in this World Cup. You sure?
You sure? Two things. One, you sure you're an Argentina supporter? First thing. Second thing, I know it's Friday evening, so I don't know if you're taking a few and then come on the show, right? But how on earth? Listen, if I had to band Messi 2 legs together and let Messi hop around the field, I want Messi on the field.
But Kishore, you must want Messi on the field. You are a Germany fan.
Because no,
and I didn't know Messi and Argentina can't win a World Cup with Messi. 4 years gone.
Hey, that is not
4 World Cup and we do it. You a Germany fan if you're on the field.
The man take a little World Cup final and give Higuain it on a plate to just score, and he can't score. What the man gonna do again? And listen, what you just said there, Argentina football, that's how Messi is not the striker of the team. Messi is the playmaker. Messi is the link in the whole team. No, that's what he does. That's the beauty about Messi, and that's why Messi is so great. Yes, Messi could finish, but Messi, the playmaking ability is just incredible. So I think
I agree with you on that.
Yes, and if you look at the position he's not playing striker in a team. So I think even more so, he will try to help out these guys, and Messi prefer to play the role of assisting these guys. That is what, even when you look at the Copa, even though he finished with the leading goal scorer and whatever, he also had the most assists in the tournament. So that is the role that Messi has been playing with Argentina, right? So and yeah, I think I agree with what you're saying. The only thing to note is that in terms of inspiring and being a motivational leader, but I think the best way for him to do that is on the pitch, not off. Yeah, you can do it off as well. I want to listen to the guys talk. He has done that to them. He has instilled something, a belief in them. But you see, on the pitch, these guys believe, honestly, with Messi there, nobody could beat them in. They believe,
and that is the problem. Yeah. Because once Messi is there, all those other 10 players and the ones on the bench are always going to figure that we don't have to put out every single drop that we have because Messi there. No. If Messi is not there, if Messi comes off on their half, then these guys going to dig deep wherever they are, pull everything out. And you're going to see what these guys are capable of doing without Messi. And we've seen it. We've seen it in other teams. We've seen it in football. We've seen it in cricket, where you have that great player, absolute world famous, the big GOAT from all times. And the other players around seems to think that we are following that player in a team sport, right?
Listen, you're basing this argument on Portugal Euro final or what? Where a certain player was missing. That's what you're basing this thing on.
No, I actually no. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it. I mean,
Yeah,
if I had to
but
draw an example, unfortunately, I'll have to draw a cricket example, and I'll draw Brian Lara. But it is the truth. The truth.
no.
Even if
Listen,
even if
why?
we played,
Let me tell you why it's not the truth, and that is not the truth. Maybe the World Cup didn't reach the final. I probably could have said, yeah, that World Cup at maybe Messi was very young and Messi had just come off an incredible season and it would have been like that. In that World Cup, no, this is a aged Messi. His team understand right now. Yeah, right? His team understand he can't do everything for them. His team understand that he needs them just as much as they need him. All right? They understand this and they're willing to give all and sacrifice for Messi. That's the difference. This World Cup. That's the difference. They understand that this is not the 26-year-old Messi that was just totally unstoppable and could take up the ball in his own half and run through 5-6 players and just score. They understand that this is not the same player. I'm not saying he still can't do that, right? But it's more difficult now. It's more difficult now. So that is why I believe that his team is the opposite this time. That is why I think they're going to go all the way. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
All right.
I'll
All right,
Isaac.
Baja, that was
Any
that.
of your
That
friends-
I
any of
sure
your-
that's probably what said in emotion, because we know
Yeah.
you believe
Germany
Germany
all
going
the
to win
way.
it all. I know that.
I you know, I still go into that.
Yeah, sorry. Yes.
No, it's too late. It's too late. But Mr. Ampersand, so being a Argentina fan, right? And I know your heart wants to see them lift the trophy. Your view is that for them to do that, Messi should be on the periphery.
Sure.
Am I getting that straight?
That is what I'm saying. And maybe it's the passion. Maybe it's the passion behind me, but certainly, if we look at it and be a little more scientific in terms of strategy, Argentina cannot make this one-man team. It cannot be about Messi. Messi has to be the person who sets it up, who motivates, who leads. He has to be that ultimate leader, but he cannot be the be-all and end-all of the team. Last thing, Roger, before I close, I want to see 5-0 in that Saudi game. Messi scores 1 with 3 assists. And that is going to tell me no one is going to stop us for this World Cup. And that is the role Messi has to play. He has to lead everybody else. Or push them.
There's a lot of merit to what you're saying, but what Bajat is saying is that what you're asking for is they've already begun to do that, to be less reliant on Messi as, how to say, to pull the team. Now he say that the team is willing to carry Messi also, and I feel that there's merit in what Kishore is saying, that the team is cognizant that hey, we're not solely reliant on Messi, and really and truly how they work it out, the dynamics. There's a lot of time still to go before the World Cup kicks off, and that I hope for your sake that Messi is able to give his best as he always does, and the team gives a good display in this World Cup. Now, yeah, and I like to say the passion that Mr. Ampersand brings, you all see it, and I know when Germany comes around and Italy, not at all, the passion will come out on the panelists, on their own team. Understand?
Definitely,
so, before I hand Mr. Maraj to wrap up and give us the next date, just some news that Trinidad was able to defeat St. Vincent 2-0. Not very convincing.
Right, we'll take it.
Yeah, it wasn't convincing, but a win is a win. I mean, unfortunately, it has reached this point where a win is a win. And they're playing them on Monday again. So I hope that they can win and get us out of the Group D in the Nations League. I mean, we're in Group B. So as much as we think, hopefully Trinidad. So best of luck to the team on Monday. So Mr. Maraj, I'll hand it over for you to wrap up.
Okay, thank you very much, Roger, and you did a wonderful job chairing this
Yeah,
group C.
excellent. Yeah.
And of course, Mr. Bajnath and Vijay, doing very well. And today, well, we had our special guest, Mr. Dudnath. And he
I
seemed
call
to-
him the super fan.
I think Dudnath, you have a question because earlier, Earl Newton, he asked, he really liking what you're saying. He made a good few comments, and he just wanted to know which like club team you support. So if you can give an answer to that question.
I can't answer that question.
It's Arsenal. Arsenal, Earl.
The man says you should bring you on the show every week. You know
No,
what?
he said,
Arsenal,
no,
Earl.
he said domestic. He said domestic. So I'm thinking local
Jablote.
domestic teams.
Jablote.
Trinidad and Tobago.
San Juan Jablote.
W connection.
I would go with connection.
Central
I mean,
FC.
I would go with connection because what I've seen is that connection, and I think is that connection
These teams-
instills a certain amount of discipline. But yeah, Mr. Newton, I will get back to you on that if they invite me over again. Hopefully, I think we should have a memorial service for those great teams that didn't make the World Cup. Italy for sure. It's sad. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Rampersad wasn't allowed to have a favorite club team. I think they refused him.
All right, so well,
But-
great to everybody. Oh, go ahead with that. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Well, I'm wrapping up, so if you all see any, you have an easy chance to it, and we.
No, we'll save that one for next time.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So thanks everyone. Thanks to all the presenters, and of course all the viewers who are still with us from the beginning. I think some boys were commented from 4:30. So we really appreciate all the support, and well, take care everyone. And now we're keeping the show on Fridays at 5. So next week Friday at 5 p.m. All the best. I'll end the broadcast now.
All right. Take care, guys.
Okay,
All the
take
best.
care, everyone.
Nice to see you guys, and take care.